Lawin Media Network.
Bringing to you the most relevant content across all platforms.
Business, legal, politics, health, lifestyle, and entertainment.
Your source for all the news and updates in the greater Houston community from Texas and all over the world.
Powered with Lawin Media Network.
Good morning, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Beyond Health and Wellness. I am your host, Dr. Rich, and this is episode 5, where we continue the conversation from last time and dive into what really makes a difference in long term wellness. So let's enjoy 1 hour of solid discussion and sharing. Tune into our episode 4 the last time we were here last Friday. You'll remember that we explored on heavily on vibrations, frequencies, and how to stay aligned despite the distractions all over all around us. We ended with a powerful challenge of becoming aware of what um, lifts us or what drains our energy, and what are the many things that we can, the small shift that we can do in alignment to that energy. So I'm going to ask you today, how did that go for you last week? How did you watch yourself slipping into patterns, or did you notice a shift of your frequency? In answer to that, we're taking a step further for this episode 5 of our season test, Beyond Health and Wellness, by asking the question, how do we small shifts into lasting habits? And this is Beyond Health and Wellness. We are live in stream.lawin.net, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. So we are going to talk about this, and it's a wonderful time to share together. And today is Valentine's Day all over the world. The world celebrates Valentine's Day, which is a day for celebrating your loved ones and celebrating and thanking them for the love that you had shared together. So I hope this is a great time for us to also share that form of energy, which I think is the best energy to have. So from Manila, Luzon, and we have Visayas and Cebu and Mindanao, Davao, Cagayan de Oro City, Iligan, even in Zamboanga City. We welcome our guests, and including our guests in Dubai, UAE, our neighboring Asian countries in Singapore, Hong Kong, Malaysia, and Indonesia, even our friends in Japan, all the way down to the United States of America, in Texas particularly, and to the East Coast and to the Coast. We welcome you all to this very refreshing and empowering discussions on Beyond Health and Wellness. Again, I'm your host, Dr. Rich. Let's talk about how small, intentional steps create lasting transformation. If you have questions, or if you have that you would like to share, we welcome you. Would like to hear what would you like to share to us in this episode, or in the discussions, feel free to put that one in the chat or make some comments in the replay if you're watching that in our podcast in Apple, Google platforms for podcast that's showing there, and it's a replay as well. But we are live in stream.lowen.net, YouTube. We are live in Facebook and Twitch. I also have my personal YouTube that also goes live along with this broadcast set of a Levi. So let's continue to talk about what we did last time. But this time, we're going to have our segment number one, which is the energy of daily habits. I'd like for you to take a look, if you were there on episode 4, that we talk about how energy is contagious and how easily external influences, negative people, social media, stress, they can pull us out of alignment. But here's the flip side of this. Just as we can be thrown off track, we can also train ourselves to stay in high frequency through daily habits. Now, think of this like you are tuning or fine tuning an instrument. If you tune a guitar every day, it stays in harmony. But if you neglect it, it falls out of tune. So that's the same that goes with the energy. You want to fine tune the energy where you are. You know out of it, and the only way you do is get back in. It's just like meditating as well. When we talk about meditating, you meditate on something, but there are other thoughts that comes and passes through your mind, and then it carries you away. What you do is not go with that thought, but really bring your mind back. Meditation is bringing your mind back in alignment to where you want to focus and train your mind that way. So it's just like that. I shared to you that when you tuning the instrument is just like that. When you are tuning your energy, there are negative and positive energy. And so we want to stay in positive energy, but sometimes there is the passing of a negative energy, and that could carry us away. And you bring yourself back into the positive energy where you want to stay. So now, um, let's have a quick check in. How do you start your morning? Now, every one of us feels like it's easy question, or it's a question that can easily be answered. And some of us could be shocked, but oh my God, what do I start? How do I start my morning? We don't know. There is what we call as the, if you're not used to thinking it that way, there is a friction that goes in our mind, and we call that a cognitive dissonance, where thinking and the new way of thinking converge and then they fight. And sometimes it can wear you out. And so, what I would like for us to do is think about that. How do you start your morning? Really think about it and focus and identify how is it that you're going to start your morning. And the other one is your first thought positive? And you know when it is positive, it gives you good feeling. We've been talking about dopamine, the feel good hormones. We've been talking about serotonin. We've been talking about oxytocin. We've been talking about endorphins. These are feel increase or stimulate in yourself by you know how that works. But this time, what is it that you think first in the morning? Is it positive or is it negative? Or do you immediately dive into your emails, check in with your social media and scroll? Or what tiny habit like setting an intention each morning can completely shift your energy for the day? You want to focus on that little thing. One simple, tiny habit that is intentionally set each morning, it could completely shift your energy for the day. Sometimes you think that it's very difficult to think about what this tiny habit is, and it's as simple as having a deep breathing in first thing in the morning as soon as you're awake, deep breathing for 4 times. That could be a tiny habit. And system, okay? Success is not measured about how big you have achieved in life. It is always measured on doing things in a certain way. So whether that certain way pushes you to where you want to go or what you want to be, it is determined by that certain thing. And I'd like for us to think about that time pushing forward. For example, you want to think the success. I have a laminated sheet, in fact, for me that I renew every year if I could laminate it so that it doesn't, the paper doesn't get torn away, because every day I look at it and I feel it and work with it, bring it with me. And sometimes it's in my bag and sometimes it's just in my car. And I put it there and read it every specific time of the day. Once in the morning at 7 o'clock, when I have an alarm at 7 o'clock, it hits and I read it. And then I imagine what I'm reading. And that's just about 3, 4 minutes max. And then in the noontime, I read another part again. And I will talk about how things will work into those little the following day. I'm sorry about that interruption. But really, what it is you're just establishing a tiny habit. And it always start from there. It will not stay there, but it will start from there until some of the things will accumulate and build up on it. And for all you know, you have achieved a bigger habit that you identify that you want to achieve in your life. So that's my first advice for this episode. Think of a tiny habit that you want to do consistently at the same time. And if you do that, I can guarantee you, based on the principle, the law of attraction and the law of consistency, it will build you up. Okay, that's what everyone is doing. The great athletes, the ones that are achieving a lot of things, they started with little things. No one's things, probably about 0.1% of the entire population of the world. So, but the rest of us, we are going to develop a habit that will bring us there. Okay, I hope that is very very clear for us. And I have this screen, I have this slide that I would like to share with you, and this slide will bring us back to what we've been talking about in the past, that our mind is divided into two substrata: the educated mind, and that is you. But I also call that the conscious mind. The conscious mind is what thinks. What When we think, we're using the conscious mind. The doer, however, which is the innate mind, that is where the power stays. But that is also what we call as the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind doesn't have the power to reject. It doesn't have the power to oppose. It doesn't have the power to resist. It only has the power to accept. So it's very deductive. It only accepts whatever it is you put into the subconscious mind, it will make it come to pass. And it uses our body to generate results. As you can see in the next slide that we have here, um, that, that is what it is. Our five senses is our some kind of a electronic switching station. What you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you touch, it's all in the conscious mind. Now it's up to you to welcome that and impress that in the subconscious mind. All those information are energies. When you put feelings into it, the moment that is emotionalized, or some say it's internalized, it goes straight into the subconscious mind and the body reacts with it and it brings the results. Okay? So this is how it looks like. Thoughts with feelings, it goes into the subconscious mind. Body will to bring the results. Without subconscious accumulation of those it manifests, and it constantly wants to manifest in the body the results of what it wants. Someone says, if you cannot measure it, it doesn't exist. Measure it is the amount of achievement that is manifested through our body. So they're asking, so do I just sit here and do nothing because I feel for it? I feel the thoughts that I had feelings for it, I imagine it. So it should go to my subconscious mind. So I don't have to do anything. It is kind of like, yeah, you don't have to do anything, but you can't really help not doing anything because the feeling, which is the energy, will move your body, will attract opportunities, will have all those tasks aligned so that you can do it, or you can go to those places or meet these people or have those opportunities open so that you will achieve the purpose for which that subconscious mind wants it. So therefore, that's how it works. Now we're going to talk more about that after the break, okay? This is Beyond Health and Wellness, empowering conversations with Dr. Rich, and we are live at stream.lawin.net. We'll be right back.
Tune into Legal Treats with attorney Eileen Ligote Dizon
Every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time.
Get your weekly dose of legal knowledge, especially on family matters like divorce, child custody, child support, estate planning, probate and immigration.
Engage in discussions by posting your questions, comments, greetings, or shoutouts.
See you every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time. That would be Saturday at 9 a.m. Philippines. Don't miss out.
All right, we're back. This is Beyond Health and Wellness, empowering conversations with Dr. Rich, and we are live today at stream.lawin.net, also in Twitch, also in Facebook and YouTube, and I have my personal YouTube channel live as well. So we're now in our segment number 2, and we're talking about now we have this, the one that you're seeing on the screen, thought with feelings on it, goes to the body, it mobilizes the body to act, and when it acts, the results are very sure. And here's the thing, the results are lasting, they stay with you because they're coming from the subconscious mind. Whether you like it or not, you're going to have results every day anyway. What you have right now is the result of the subconscious mind. There's nothing else coming from anywhere. It's always coming from the subconscious mind. Well, what that result is determines what's in the subconscious mind. The only way to change the result is to change what you feed your subconscious mind. That's really how it works. Now, when we look at that in our next slide, it is like this. You choose it. It is your intellectual mind. You have the ability to choose whatever it is that you want to entertain, listen to, or learn from. And then your emotional mind, which is your subconscious mind, feelings, it evokes that and it causes your body for action so that it will resolve. So that's what it was. Now, contrast that with what we were when we were young, when we were an infant. Now, this is when we were an infant, it's not like that. Whatever it is, whatever people say to the TV, the news, it right into the subconscious. The infant doesn't think. Okay, it just the subconscious mind and forms that. That is about 7 years, the first 7 years. We really don't want, that is what you have. And when you grow up from that, that's what you have. That is now your paradigm. Paradigm is really just a collection of habits that you've accumulated over those years. And then you start thinking, now you start having that barrier, right? You don't just let given to you by the TV, social media, newspapers, other people, radio, whatever else that information come from. You don't just get that in. You're going to think, are you going to accept that or not? And whatever it is that you accept, it goes in. Whatever it is that you don't accept, it goes away. Now, of course, there's a catch to that, because sometimes when you are not conscious, okay, when you are not conscious, it slips in. So really what it is you are going to guard the what's going on into the subconscious mind by really being conscious of what is going on around you, what kind of thoughts you have or entertain, and the ones that you focus on. Because the ones you focus on, remember, these are all energy, and the ones you focus on, you animate it, and it brings the results you needed. So it's pretty much like this that is an easier illustration of for you. Thought is energy, and your thoughts become the idea. The idea causes emotion. The emotion alters your vibration and expresses that vibration in action. That creates new conditions, new circumstances that brings result. So that's the result that you are. Now, your action is the one that will attract the results. Okay, the goal is not to get. Okay, so you have a lot of goals, but the goal is not to get. The goal is to grow. Because when you grow into the stature that that is in the level or in the same vibration of the things you want, the things you want will come to you. It's a law of action and reaction. When you act on it, when you become, it's in the becoming. When you become, boom, you get what is needed in that level. So all you need to really do is to move into certain vibrations. That's why we talked about it last time. Now you're thinking change sounds great. There are changes that will happen in our life, and we know that that happens. And because we know that that's what's what we do is that way. And if we have or negative sins, we want to be able to steer direction that we want to think. Now you're thinking change sounds great, but sticking with it is very hard. Why is it very hard to stick on the same thing? It is because our brain loves routine. Even if a habit isn't serving us, if it's familiar, it feels safe to do it, we keep doing it. For example, we talked about sugar before. Sugar is very sweet, right? And so we like sugar, and we're not even thinking anything that sweet goes in there, right? And we also talk about how much sugar do we really need, and it's only 25 grams. That's about 6 teaspoons. That's really a lot, and but 6 teaspoons is nothing in a day, in a regular day we have now. By eating a fresh donut, to already about 7 teaspoons. Now, if you take a can of soda, that's 117 grams of. So it's already you already maxed the whole thing. It's not even the middle of the day. It was enormous amounts of sugar, but we're not aware. It's just habit forming. So instead of forcing massive change overnight, what I want for us to do is that you focus on one small, manageable shift. Maybe it's swapping negative self-talk for a daily affirmation. Instead of saying negative things, think about daily affirmation. Say it instead, or replacing mindless scrolling of your social media with, let's say, 5 minutes of meditation. 5 minutes is sounds very short, but it's really very long if you are not used to meditation, like, or simply drinking more water, or ingredients of the food item that you have, and if it says is how much it has added sugar, just by removing that item from our daily meal, it is already a big thing. Okay, remember, small steps lead to big change. That's what I want us to understand. Now let's go back to this slide right here. Now if you look at the slide, there is an action and reaction, right? Your action causes a reaction which alters your results. So the results will change because you have changed. The vibration is higher. The results are expected to be higher because the kind of results that you expect are higher now. The lower results will not be there. Now, you said, why do I keep having these results? I want to change and I still keep having these results. That can tell you that what you are having is attracting the same thing. So you haven't changed, right? So you want to continue to raise that vibration because it's not the results. The results is the manifestation of what's going in the inside. If the vibration stays the same, you can guarantee the results are the same. Okay. Now, if you see that the results are the same, it's not changing from the outside, but it's changing from the inside. So you go back in and look what kind of vibrations do you have that you need to improve so that the results will improve or will change. It will change if you improve your vibration. Always go from the outside. If you keep blaming from the outside, it's not going to work for us. Okay. Now, here's the thing, conditions are what we want to see, circumstances, environment, results, those are what it is. I told you that the goals are not for getting, it is for growing. So you grow. When you use as our example, right? If you want $1 million, you want to behave like you have it now, not tomorrow, not the next day. Now, you want to behave. What does it feel to have this? And your mind is set in you have this. Because when you are it, you get it. Okay? Then the $1 million is yours because you live like you are $1 million, right? Also set an example which will distribute their millions to the poor. Okay, every single poor people will get $1 million, let's say, from Bill Gates. $1 million for every poor people. It will take very long for that $1 million that is in the to the millionaire where it belongs, because the poor people don't think like millionaires. The millionaires think like millionaires. That's why the poor people think like poor. And right, if you deserve 1 million, you have to think like you do, and you have to think, feel, and act like you do. You attract it. Okay, you don't become a millionaire by thinking negative. You don't become successful by thinking failure. So it all is like that. You are going to grow into that stature that you want to achieve. And then we talk about this, okay? So when we talk about this, we talk about the levels. Awareness is the frequency we're in. That's the level of awareness, and where we are at that level. All we need is to increase, climb up to the frequency. The lowest frequency is animal frequency, which is fight or flight, or flight or fight, which basically means react versus responding. We're not responding, we're reacting. So either we fight or we avoid, we run away. Okay? That's an animal instinct, and we do have that as well. Now, um, when we go up higher to another level of frequency, it is the mass frequency, mass mentality. You're conforming. Example, everyone, you see everyone wearing the same kind of jeans because it's what's in, and everybody is wearing the same kind of jeans. Mass, right? Excuse me. And then you go higher frequency, and that is aspiration, desire without action. And then you move up higher, up higher, and the last one is then you now are not reacting, but you are responding. And we will talk about that because it's very important for me that we all understand that, and we are going to share some of those really important points here. Why are we talking about 7 levels of awareness while we're forming our habits? And we're going to talk about that after the break. We'll be right back. This is Beyond Health and Wellness, empowering conversations with Dr. Rich, and we are live here on thatlawin.net. Take it away, DJ. Oh, I think our DJ is a little. Yes, so we're talking about these levels of awareness, and these levels of awareness is what we're doing. We're trying to understand if we go higher, the higher you go in your level of frequency, the better it is. For example, level number 5, just simply giving yourself a command and okay? You don't give others the to yourself, and then you follow discipline when you that's said times when you wake up, you do it in a disciplined manner. That's how it is, giving yourself a discipline. And then you experience you're really you're really learning there. Your experience, every experience that you have, you're learning, and then you respond is the mastery. Few people have achieved that kind of level, but when you achieve that level, it feels different because you're changing. So we want us to be able to understand that as far as our conversation is concerned, we are talking about anchoring into our highest frequency. Which frequency are we? So we are going to sure that we do that. Okay, we'll take a break first before we will really continue and take a bite on this topic right now. We'll be right.
Bold conversations, big ideas. Your next step starts here. Tune in to season 5 of Be Bold, Why Not with MJ Conception. Live every Monday 8 p.m. CST and 10 a.m. PH time. Don't miss out.
And we are back. So we said that the highest, so the mastery responding, you want to be able to respond. Okay. When you know you went down in lowest level of frequency, you're reacting. So you know when you're reacting, you're responding. When you respond, boom, you shift up. Now let's take a look at that. Uh, that kind of discussion, we're saying that we want to anchor ourselves in frequency possible to us. So let's take it back to alignment. Where do you align? If you want to operate at a higher frequency, you need practices that bring when chaotic. So there are a few simple but powerful ones that you can do. I'd like for you daily grounding practice. Okay, with gratitude, deep breaths, I've said you, or even movements. You want to move, so you make that a habit to start doing this vibration. It's an exercise machine. It shakes your body, and you do that for your body is like back and make that habit of other exercises. Like I ran marathon, but really if I step into the vibration, it builds my circulation back and gives me a lot of energy. As much as I can, especially when I'm home. I'm not home that I'm struggling because wherever I am. I mean, the point is start your day. I also like to start my day with gratitude. And what I do is I 10 things that I am grateful for the day. Down, sometimes I would repeat some of those because I'm still grateful for them. So, but I will list more. If I could list more, that will be a bonus, but I don't force myself to list more. I just put 10 and I'm good to go. Now, if you can list more, that would be good. In fact, I advise people to start with three, list down three. Why listing it? It is because when you're using it, and when you're using it, it gives new neural pathways in the brain. Remember it. So do that. And the other one is do an energy reset. Now, what is this? If you feel drained, you work, you're exhausted, step outside, you stretch for a little bit, or listen to uplifting music, a few minutes, and then your energy comes set. Like at work, for example, deep work at work. So that's, let's say, still thinking about work. So at work will still be the same brain that will be used home because you're still thinking about the same thing. So you want to shift into doing different way of thinking so that the ones that are not used, because we use max of 10% of our in our entire lifetime, we don't use the other ones that are not used because we motivate, what do you call this thing, animate the brain. So use the other ones. So something you do. For example, I'm running, so I'm using my running constantly. And after that, now I'm biking or I'm swimming. It will be a difference so that your muscles will tend to rest, but the others are it's the same thing with our brains. The brain, let's say you're thinking deeply in your analysis, do something fun at home, things like that. That is energy reset. And the other one I'd like to make mention, mindful consumption of whatever it is. Filter what you take in, whether conversations or food. So be mindful of that. You know where I'm going with this, right? This slide. Being mindful what goes into your intellectual mind, what you watch, what you talk about, what you listen to, will determine the kind of thoughts. The more you are focused on that kind of thought, the more you are entertaining that thought, and that feeling will make that thought into the subconscious mind, and you're back with it. Okay, when it's reacting, it's in big, but if it's responding, you have mastered it. Responding, it feels different because the results are different, and you can really measure. Here is measure. How do you measure your success? The simplest way to measure success is how much money you have. Look at your wallet, look at your bank account, how much money, how much success you have. Simplest way to do that. There are other ways, but if you cannot measure your success by the simplest way, it will be difficult for you to measure your success in more. Might as well determine from the simplest way, which is how much money do you have? Then maybe it's time for us to think about now, what do you do? How do you think so that you can measure it in terms of that it has increased? Okay. It always goes like that. And I ask people a lot when I interact with them for the first time in a coaching situation. I tell them how much money you have. And not that I'm going to ask because I'm going to ask some of them to give me. That's not the point. The point is where their mindset is. When I do that, I know that when their mindset is doing, I am able to understand where they are and I coach them from that point of view. So it's very important for us to the basic or the simplest way to what do you call this to measure success is to determine how much money you have. So we're talking about the seven levels of awareness. We're also talking about the the conscious mind and the subconscious mind are talking about today, which is the small things, the power of consistency. It is doing things in a certain way. And I advise that you start with small steps. If you're in big steps and you're doing it consistently, now, now for you who haven't started yet, do say, no, I want to earn $50,000 in my savings account for this year. And so, how do you start doing that? Start doing that now. What I want to say is break it down into small 25. So in 3 months, that's about what? Uh, 12, 12.5 and like 12,500. And then you break it some more until you get to, or so that you will know, oh, this is how much money you don't wait for it to be $30. If it's $1, then until because you have to have those small steps met, and then it impacts compounding, if you would. The compounding effect is principle because this have accumulated over the years. It will it boom effect. All of a sudden, it goes up very very quickly, like a bamboo. Right, when you're planting a bamboo, first nothing, second year nothing, 7 years. Where does it come from? You're surprised because it gathers that energy and then it accumulates it in a compounding effect. That's why invest is a very important philosophy to have. Now, there is what we call as the ability for us to get sidetracked that happen in life, and I'd like for you to understand that I accumulated and they happen, but they are only going to happen to move us forward. Nothing will move us backwards. It is always going to move us forward. Now, if you allow that to move you backwards, it works both ways. So, what is your energy like? Where are you moving? It's important for you to move because okay. So now, segment number one, we talk about energy on a daily basis. We talk about how energy is contagious and how easily experiences like negative people, social media can pull us out of alignment. But the flip side of that is we can be thrown off track. We can train ourselves to stay in high frequency through daily habits. So we want to really form daily habits. Now think of this daily habits or fine tuning an instrument, let's say a guitar. So you want to tune the guitar so that it is in harmony. Fine tuned guitar is always in harmony. Leave it there out of its harmony. It goes up. If you don't measure it, don't keep at it, then it deteriorate, right? So you want to really keep moving. Okay. That's how you do it. For example, you start your morning, start, but do it consistently. Okay. Let's say every time I'm going to share, because every time I'm making a habit to, first thing I do, of course, you deep breathing, and then and sit up and out of the bed. When I'm out of the bed, I am going to make my bed, arrange my bed, make my bed every single day, whether I feel it, develop that habit. Okay, so do the same form and do it every single time. Of course, the in the second segment, we also talk about overcoming resistance to change. There are, so especially it's yourself, and you didn't know that the habit that you want is the habit that you are changing, and it creates a cognitive dissonance because two things are in contrast to each other. The one that you're used to and the new one that you're introducing that you want to do. Sometimes your mind, this mind for that matter, is the one that still gets the results, the same results. That's not the result you want. Press your subconscious mind from your conscious mind by the things that you do. So that is why every time the same result happens, you want to change your mind. You want to, what I want this, and I want this, and I want this. You keep doing that until it gives in. Your subconscious mind will give in because it can't take it anymore, because of the enormous amount of energy you to impress it with all the feelings. You impress your subconscious mind, who gives you that the same result that you want to change. The moment it is in your subconscious mind, that the results will come, and that is like finally habit. Okay, so it feels safe. It always keeps giving you the same result, but if it eventually has changed, then the result has also changed. Okay, so that's what we do when we are overcoming resistance to one small step. Okay, prove yourself 1% every day in 1 year. That is 65% of improvement. I can guarantee improvement every day. You will no longer recognize yourself in a year's time. So it is very important to take note of that. But that is overcoming resistance to change, and that is our segment number two. Okay. Now, send us messages. You can send comments to our podcast, and you can even make some shares that you have, and we will address them as well. We are live here in stream.lawin.net. We're also YouTube and Twitch, and I have my personal YouTube channel here as well of this broadcast, and that is the Rich Mindset of a Levite. We are also going to have in our podcast platform, in Spotify and in, so make sure you go that and see what you can learn from our podcast. In our segment number three, reviewing here. In our segment number three, we into our highest frequency. That's what we want, right? The high ever be able to go up, because the higher we go, the higher the frequency we go, the better we become. And it's all about what kind of vibration we are vibrating into, right? The positive vibration. So we talk about how can we align about the 7 levels of awareness. Those are basic levels of awareness, the lowest of which is your reactive level, and the highest is the level. Now there is a pyramid for success, and the pyramid for success is like that. And the highest part or point of the pyramid, it means it means you want to take full responsibility. No blaming, no nothing. The result is you are fully responsible for it. Now you want to really reach that I am responsible. The things that the things that results in what are the only ones responsible and accepted. That is the first, uh, the pinnacle, the first point in our pyramid of success. The other two is answering the question, what am I responsible for? Right? First one, I am responsible for my goals. Okay. You're going to set your goals, and your goals needs to be very clear. The clearer you are with your goals, the better your results could be. So first you are going to be responsible. You're going to say, I am responsible. I am responsible for my goals. You set your goals. Because if you don't set your goals, somebody else will set a goal for you, and whether you like it or not. So you are going to set your own goals because it's your goal. You determine what that you are going to work towards that. So the third point of the pyramid of success is your results. Okay. So you are responsible for your results. Whatever the results are, you want to determine what. In setting up your goals, you need to know your goals too. Okay. I'll just wake up and bring you. No matter if you do that every single day, what results you're looking at, maybe the results are already there, you still didn't know, you didn't determine. So determine what kind of results you'll get there. Okay. So champions, they already know, let's say, track and field, right? Not everyone will get a goal, but everyone goes for the goal. And so you already know what your goal is, what the result is of that goal. My goal, but at what time, right? So that's the result. My goal, can I run? Yes, I will run. The result is 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. I'll finish it in that, and then that goal. Every single one of us or achieves our goal. We meet or achieve our goal. Every single one of our goals. Whether we intend it or don't. Because we're realizing every single result of what you have right now is a goal reached. If you are going to achieve all your goals anyway, why not? What kind of goals do you want to achieve? Because they are going to be achieved. For example, you seen the moon? We went to the moon, right? The human kind went to the moon and back. That was the moon before. That's how to set the goal. A goal you already know how to do. If you know how to, it's a to-do list. You might as well just go ahead and do it because you already know how to do it. You already know what it is. A goal is something you want and you know you will achieve, but you don't know how. Okay? You don't know how. You have never done that before, but you know you will get it. Okay? A goal to do list. A goal is something, let's say you bar and your car is a Honda, what? Honda Pilot. And you want to buy a new Honda Pilot. You just go ahead and buy it. That's a goal is something bigger than you, something that you know you will achieve, but you don't know, even that you don't know how. Okay, so it has to be big, humongous, and enormous, that builds confidence in you that no matter what it takes, you'll get it. Okay, the first person who climbed Mount Everest, that's the goal, right? No one has climbed before, and he went there for the things that happens along the way. But he got it. That's what it is. Going to the moon, no one has been to the moon before. Everything that they did, everything they could, they got the moon and back achieved. Okay, the chair is a goal, right? There was no chair before. They'll probably they don't know what a chair is. They don't have a name for it. They were just sitting on rocks or whatever. And then they decided there is a log, and then they cut something in the log, and then they call it a bench. Then somebody said, "Well, and then there was no chair before, and then they had a chair. Okay, there's something to sit. All as the creative imagination. There was nothing, and then the other one is synthetic imagination. There was one thing that's already done, but no one has done it this way before, and you'll be the first one to do that. For example, they have a bench, as I talked about, and that bench you saw, but you can do better. A- Sofa, there was no sofa, no name for it, or how it's done. The first one who did it, then you call it sofa. A bench before that. What you're doing is you are doing synthetic imagination to create the sofa. That's a goal, right? That's what you know you're going to do for, and you did it. Okay, single day we're achieving our goals, whether we're aware of it or not. Every result we have is a result of what's going on in our subconscious. For us to understand, when you anchor into the highest frequency, you achieve things at that level of your frequency. Okay, now we're going to close, but we are in our Beyond Health and Wellness. Remember, this is our season 2, and this is for our podcast. We are live here at Stream that also in YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And we are also live in a YouTube channel, The Rich Mind Divide. We are talking about here in our episode 5 about anchoring our highest frequency, talking about the power of consistently doing small steps for a big impact. And as a review, we are going to close. Uh, we will wrap up challenge that I'm going to give you for this week. What I want you to do is commit to a small habit that keeps you in alignment to your goal. Whatever your goal is, identify that and be very clear of that and focus on that. If you have so many goals, so many different kinds of things going on, you want to just one. Your mind only processes one situation at a time. So you have to commit one small habit keeps you in alignment with that one goal. I still need to do it anyway. Well, whatever you need to do the whole day, there's so many things that you can do the whole day. But your mind is focused on that one small specific thing that you want to achieve, and I guarantee you will achieve that, and you will achieve one thing after another by that focus. So here's the thing, I'll repeat: habit that keeps you in alignment, write it down, stick with it, and check the entire week. Now, if this episode has resonated with you, let's skip the share your thoughts, tag me, tag our broadcast, and let me know what habit you're committing to if you'd like to share. And until next time, I'd like for you to stay aligned, be positive, and remember, small steps lead to transformation. This is our podcast, Beyond Health and Wellness, empowering conversations with Dr. Raylin. Stream.live.net, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. We'll see you next time, everyone.